guys, it's Sheena, the Sports Report Girl, here for your Pro Football Week in Review. So week 3 in the NFL had a few big surprises, and for my money, none were bigger than the Dolphins prevailing against the Patriots. Not only did they win, they beat them down, 38-13. Ronnie Brown made a statement that he was back after posting 4 rushing touchdowns and tossing another. So what do we make of the Patriots now? After Brady's injury, everyone thought they were done. And then they went out the next game and handled Brett and the Jets, making everyone flog themselves for jumping off the bandwagon so soon. Now they go out and get embarrassed by the Finns like this. Like I said, who is this team? Another intriguing outcome on Sunday was the come-from-behind victory of Buffalo over Oakland. Up to this point, we've all felt the Bills are a team on the rise, and that the Raiders, while getting better here and there, aren't very good. Well, I still think the Bills are on the uptick, but the Raiders are improving more than I thought. I fully expected Buffalo to dominate and embarrass Oakland, but they didn't. They did score when they needed to, and that is a mark of a quality team. Unfortunately, giving up 17 points in the fourth quarter doesn't bode well for Lane Kiffin's job security. Rumors were swirling that the firing would happen last week, but I am fully expecting it this week. Also last week, we saw Kerry Collins hit a milestone when he reached 35,000 yards passing for his career. He's the 15th player to reach that mark in the history of the league and only sits behind Brett Favre and Peyton Manning on the list of active quarterbacks. What's amazing, though, is the guy has been a backup for the last few years. How he's not been a starter somewhere is beyond me. Speaking of quarterbacks, Minnesota's Brad Childress decided after 2 weeks that it was time for a change. He announced midweek that he was benching Tavares Jackson and going with journeyman Gus Frerotte. Gus is a veteran play caller and will likely give the Vikings just what they need, stability at the position. But in making this move at this point, you've totally ruined any confidence Jackson may have remaining. I understand this is a win-now league, but Childress and the Vikings management are to blame for ruining the kid's confidence. You shop around over the summer for Favre, then when you can't get him, you throw Jackson to the Wolves, knowing full well that he's not yet capable of doing what you need him to do. I don't get it. And finally, in San Diego, it was reported that referee Ed Hockley has been terribly depressed after blowing a call in the final seconds of last week's Broncos-Chargers contest. In the game, Denver quarterback Jay Cutler fumbled the ball, which was recovered by San Diego, only Hockley ruled it an incomplete pass. Replay showed it was indeed a fumble, but because the whistle was blown, it was considered a dead ball and Denver kept possession. They went on to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to win in the last seconds. Well, apparently Hockley has been emailing Charger fans apologizing for the blown call, and I'm sure he feels terrible. But the reality is San Diego had 2 chances to determine their own fate, and they failed both times. I understand that if Ed got the call right, they wouldn't have needed to put up a big defensive stop. But it also wasn't the last play of the game, and as such, it wasn't the deciding factor. If San Diego successfully defends the end zone on either the touchdown or the 2-point conversion, the game would have ended the same way as if Ed had got the call right. So stop feeling bad for yourselves, Charger fans. Okay guys, that's it for this week, but don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There you'll find other cool videos like the backspin, the College Football Week in Review, and the fantasy lineup. When you do subscribe, be sure to post your comments and questions or send them to srg@thesportsreportgirl.com. And of course, there's always our fan page on Facebook. See you back here next week for another edition of the Pro Football Week in Review.